Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the Algebra 1 concept of graphing inequalities. This is standard A.3D in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 37 off the 2022 released STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we have a graph shown. This graph is y equals negative 1/6 x minus 4. So we need to find which order pairs in the solution set. Notice it's similar, except we're replacing our equal sign with a greater than sign. Okay, so we need to know two things about this line. So since they've already graphed this for us, that's fine. But we can quickly identify two things from just looking at this inequality. So first, let's look to see what type of line is it going to be. Is it going to be dashed, dotted, or is it going to be solid? So when you have a less than or a greater than, you actually have a dashed, some people call it dashed, some people call it dotted line. That means that any number on that line cannot be included in the solution set. But if you have a less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, anything that's got that equal to, it's actually a solid line. So that means you can include any numbers on that solution set. So take a look at this. This is a y is greater than, which means even though it's listed there as a solid line, I'm going to draw over it. It needs to be a dashed line. If any of these numbers, A, B, C, or D, actually shows up on the line, we cannot include it. Now, secondly, we also need to look at our directionality. So when you have a greater than or equal to, greater means more and more means up. So you actually are going to shade above the line. Any number within the shaded part above the line would be in the solution set. When you have a less than or equal to, less means below because it's not as much, you actually shade below. So we know it's a dashed line. We know it's a greater than, which means I'm going to shade above. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw some lines up here to show that that's kind of the shaded portion. All right, so any of these ordered pairs that lands in that shaded portion up there is going to work. So let's start plotting. A is negative 8, 8. Okay, so negative 8, 8 is going to land right here. Definitely well within the shaded portion. Okay, that's looking good. B is 6, negative 5. And take a look. It's right there, but it's on the line. Remember what we said. We cannot include anything that is on the line. If it were a greater than or equal to, we could have, but since it's on the line, we have to exclude it because it's just a greater than. All right, C is 4, negative 6, so 4, negative 6 is definitely below the line, so that's out. And then D is negative 2, negative 7, well below the line. And so obviously this A is the one that's all by itself. Let's plug it in just to make sure. So I've got y. My y is going to be my 8. So I'll just plug this in. 8 is greater than negative 1/6. And then that's going to be negative 8 minus 4. So we just need to simplify. 8 is greater than, that's two negatives, right? So that's going to be a positive. 8, 6, so that's going to be 4 thirds minus 4. So 8 is greater than, it's really 1 1/3. So that's going to be a negative 2 2/3. Yeah, that definitely works. And if you wanted to test out this B right here, you could plug that in and you would see that it's not going to work. It's going to actually make it 2 equal, and it's not going to work because it needs to be greater than. So our answer here is going to be A. The only point that works is going to be negative 8, 8.